welcome back. We move into the second part of our discussion this morning with Consular Chief from the U.S. Embassy of Belize, Mr. Wilbur Zier. Good morning, and thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be on with you today, and very excited.
Yeah.
We're definitely intrigued to hear about the services that will be reinitiated considering the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic and how it's been slowed down. Talk to us about some of the services that will be reopening at the U.S. Embassy.
Okay, so yes, we, as everybody knows, at the start of the COVID pandemic last year in March, we closed down most of our visa services and even some of our services to American citizens. And they've been opening up throughout the past year, but we are so excited to announce that beginning June 2nd, Wednesday, June 2nd, we will be opening up our regular non-immigrant visa appointment schedule. And so we'll be bringing people in for regular non-immigrant visas. I know people have been asking about that, and we're very excited to announce that that's coming.
Yes. Now, that's an interesting development. I know people were able to start their application online for the past few weeks. Talk to us about just how big your backlog is at this point.
Yeah, so actually throughout the year here in Belize, we have been doing emergency non-immigrant visas.
Yeah.
And then also we have interview waivers. And so we have been doing some throughout the year. That's helped release a little bit of the backlog. But right now, of course, anybody can go online and apply for a visa and get an appointment to come in for an interview. The backlog right now, probably the next available appointment will be sometime at the beginning of August. So it's a couple of months, and we just are looking forward to and asking for patience from people as we work through that backlog and get in as many people as we safely can. Our number one priority, of course, is the safety of our staff and the safety of our customers, of our visa applicants, and so as safely as we can bring in as many as possible, we will.
Now, the visa application for many people, it's a very fraughtful experience because people don't always know what to expect. What can you clarify for us today about understanding eligibility and preparation?
Right. In fact, as an aside, one thing I do with all of my new officers is make them go through the process of applying for a visa, so we can kind of understand that it's sometimes a little bit opaque, right?
Yes.
For anybody, first of all, to apply for a U.S. visa, you need to start at our embassy website.
Yes.
So search for U.S. Embassy Belmopan, go on there to our visa page, and it gives you all of the directions, all of the instructions to apply for a visa. We also want people to know if you have any questions about your application, please contact us at consulbelize@state.gov. Like I said, all the information is there on our website, but you can contact us at consulbelize@state.gov. CONSUL Belize@state.gov.
Okay. So that's talking about understanding the eligibility.
Yeah.
Now, there's also, once someone has gone through the process, they are granted an interview, especially if it's a first-time applicant, and they come with a mountain of paper and documents, and there may just be one that they don't have that's asked for. How do you know what you need to present?
Yeah, every interview is different, obviously.
Yeah.
One thing that I would say about that is for people to know, we want to interview the people, right? So you should come and be ready to answer any questions that would affect your application. But everybody wishes that there was just a checklist, right? Of
Yes.
Bring this and you get the visa, don't bring it and you don't get the visa, but there is no such thing. And so we take our time with each applicant. We do our best to interview them fully and completely, and our officers make good decisions.
All right.
For those people who submitted their visa applications prior to the pause of services, what must they do now?
We have contacted all the people who had visa appointments canceled, and there were different times throughout the year we were hoping to restart, and people were able to get appointments. Anybody who had a canceled appointment has been contacted. The vast majority of them have already rescheduled. But if there's anybody out there that is wondering, had an appointment and have not rescheduled, please contact us at consul.belize@state.gov, and we'll assist them with getting their appointment. One thing is that some people were concerned about is the machine readable visa fee, the MRV visa fee that you pay to apply for a visa. Those are usually valid for 1 year, but the State Department has extended the validity of all of those visa fees through September of 2022. So don't worry about your visa fee. If it was around a year ago that you lost your appointment, just apply again. That visa fee is still good, and we can bring you in for interview.
So there are two options, as you spoke of very clearly. There is an interview with a consular officer to be able to determine whether or not you get your visa. And there's also the option for an interview waiver. Tell us who's eligible for the interview waiver.
Okay, so the interview waiver process allows people to apply without possibly needing an interview, right?
Possibly.
So to apply for interview waiver, it's somebody who has had a previous visa, an adult, a full validity visa, and it's still either valid or has expired within the last 48 months. That has been extended. Previously, it was either 12 months or 24 months, but right now, because of COVID, if you have a visa that has expired within the last 48 months, you can go online and apply, and it should prompt you just to send it in to us or drop it off with us there. And then, of course, as you see on your screen, visas are waived, interviews are waived, usually for children under the age of 14 or adults over the age of 80. They can usually come in without interview as well.
And for the rest of us, it's not necessarily an automatic process.
That's correct. It's not an automatic process. We'll take a look at your previous application, at your previous visa, and for the vast majority of those, we're able to issue without calling those people in for interview. And as I've said, we've been able to do quite a few of those through the past months, and it's helping to keep our backlog manageable. So.
Yeah.
In terms of students who are applying right now to go abroad, considering the backlog of the services at this present moment, are they being considered to sort of speed up the process of getting their I-20 visa to be able to go abroad and study?
Yeah, so student visas are actually one of the visa classes that we have been doing regular interviews for many months now. And so we have had Belizean students coming in for quite a few months, and we've been doing those interviews and helping those students get to the schools in the U.S. Again, if there's any student out there and is just applying now and just getting their I-20 together and all of that, they can go online, follow the instructions, and arrange for a visa interview. And as I've said before, if they have any questions, consul.belize@state.gov.
Yeah. Now, how long does it take to find out whether or not you have been approved?
I don't know if it's fortunate or unfortunately, but at the window when you apply and have your interview, we let applicants know right at that moment if they're approved or denied.
Okay.
So yeah, it happens immediately. So there's no waiting. That's a good thing, but not always fun news to hear if you don't qualify for the visa.
And for those who have been granted the waiver?
Interview waiver, so they would send us their passport, either drop it off here at the embassy in Belmopan, we're on Floral Park Road, or you can send it to us through one of the courier companies or through the mail. Then I guess they would know, we would contact them if we need them to come in for interview, or they would receive their passport in the mail with their new visa, or would be ready for pickup. Yeah, we contact them afterwards. Our processing time is usually within a couple of weeks.
Okay.
So we try to get through them as quickly as possible, and processing time is usually within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
What are some of the eligibility requirements when applying for visas, whether it's the tourist visa or the I-20 visa?
Yeah, so the eligibility requirement to apply is anybody who wishes can apply. You just have to go online to our website and follow the instructions and you can apply. I think what you're asking is the eligibility requirements to receive the visa, actually.
Right,
and
right.
so there's information on travel.state.gov about the requirements. It's it's there. The main one that we're looking at is, does the traveler have immigrant intent? Do they have a reason they're not telling us why they really want to go? And unfortunately, not just in Belize, but around the world, there are many people who are just looking to get a visa to go to the United States for other purposes than what they're stating or what they're saying they're going for. So,
how often is it that people are applying for the wrong type of visa?
That's a very good question. We do see that some people will apply in the wrong visa class. The major one, of course, is the B1, B2 visa, what we call our tourist business visa. You can go for business purposes, you can go for tourism, but there are students and there are different exchange programs and things like that. If you have any questions, we can work with you. If people apply for the wrong visa class, we can help them at the window, make sure that they've got the correct visa class. And again, if you have any questions, just reach out to us at consulbelize@state.gov.
I appreciate that you said anyone can apply. Very often people may have had some sort of challenge, whether in the US or even locally, and they automatically assume that they would be excluded from receiving a visa. What's your advice to them?
My advice is that anybody who believes that they are qualified to receive a visa can apply. I guess even if you think you don't qualify, you can apply, right? Anyone is free to apply for the visa. The main thing we tell people is at the interview, just be ready to answer questions and be ready to tell the truth.
Yes.
I guess like anything in life, we're going to get much further if we're there telling the truth. And so,
Especially on your form.
The best advice I can give in life as well as in visa interviews, I guess.
Especially in your application form.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah. Now, looking at the reopening for interview process especially, what are some of the protocols you put in place to ensure safety?
Yeah, that's wonderful. The safety of our staff, the safety of our customers, our visa applicants is really our number one priority. And the more we can do to keep ourselves safe it's going to dictate the more we can do as far as numbers of interviews and keep this going, right? We don't want to have to step back and close again. And so we have put into place, we've got wash stations outside, we have sanitation stations inside. We've set up our waiting room and our outside waiting room to allow for social distancing. We're requiring all visa applicants and anyone who comes in to use our service to wear a mask, to have a mask on. And the other thing that we're requesting, if you have a visa interview and your day is coming up for interview and maybe you've waited a long time to get this interview and you're not feeling well that day, if you've got the sniffles or you're not feeling well, we would request that you do not come in to the embassy and contact us at the email address that I've been giving, consulbelize@state.gov. We'll work with you to get another interview date. But, I think all of us here in Belize, I think have done a great job following the government of Belize protocols and the requirements that they've given out. We here at the embassy, we want to follow that as well. And we just ask everyone to be patient with each other. Let's work with each other to get through this as best we can, and whatever we can do to keep each other safe is going to dictate us allowing to offer more services.
Do you need to be vaccinated to apply?
You do not need to be vaccinated to apply. You do not need to have a COVID test to apply. Anyone is welcome to come and apply. And as we said before, just honor the social distancing requirements and things like that, the sanitation requirements. So.
I want to follow up and dive a little bit into the state of affairs where we're at right now in terms of Belize and the strike action that is happening. What has the advisory been to American citizens who are traveling our country?
So the travel advisory right now is found on our website, and is also found on the website of travel.state.gov. And it gives information for every country in the world. Yeah. And the travel advisory right now for Belize is at a level 2, which is historically where it's been for the longest time. The major decisions of that travel advisory is not something that we decide here at Post. It's decided out of Washington. Many factors go into that. And if there's ever any change in the travel advisory, we let the public know.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What is the trigger for the suspension of services? Do you imagine that if we do see a spike in cases that there may be a pause again?
It's always a possibility. The triggers would be, as I said before, kind of the safety of our staff and the safety of our customers, and following all Government of Belize protocols and suggestions that the government puts out.
Yeah.
Like I said, we've done very well here for a long time, and we're excited to reopen on June 2nd. On Wednesday, June 2nd, we'll be offering in-person interviews for regular non-immigrant visa appointments, and we hope to keep that up for a long time.
Of course, the consular services also provide services to U.S. citizens. Talk to us about the status of those services.
Yeah, so it's our number one priority is the safety and protection of American citizens overseas, and we have been offering our full array of American citizen services for quite a few months now. If there are any American citizens out there listening, I know there's many, they can reach us by email at ACS, that stands for American Citizen Services. So ACS Belize at state.gov. And they can reach us there by email. They can go to our website and make appointments for all sorts of services.
All right. So June 2nd is the day where you open up for interview appointments. But that doesn't mean people have to wait to apply, right?
That's correct. In fact, because you can tell others have applied, because our next available appointment is now pushing to the end of July, beginning of August, right? But yeah, so you can go online right now today if you're interested, if you believe that you have a reason to travel to the United States. Go to our website, follow the instructions for visa, and you can apply on there.
Yeah. When it comes to the application form, what's your advice to people about using third-party services to help them fill it out?
Yeah, there are many websites out there, as you said, third-party services. They are available. I think most people can do the form on their own. And I know that many of those services and third-party websites charge money as well. They're charging you for something that you can do for free on our website. And as I said, we have a wonderful staff in our consular section. They're hardworking, they're very knowledgeable, they know their stuff, and they're available to answer your questions at consulbelize@state.gov. And I think that's the best way to do it. Go to our website, go to the official website and do it, and not go through a third-party vendor.
Yeah, and then you can always email with questions if you get stuck at some part of the form, right?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay. What's the current cost for the visa application?
So every visa category is a little bit different, but the majority of them, the majority of applicants we see here in Belize are the tourist visas and the student visas. And the current cost, the application fee for those is $160 US dollars.
160 US.
And those are done in the bank itself?
Yeah, that's something that you need to go to the bank. I'm so used to telling people to go to Scotiabank. I believe now that is Belize Bank, correct?
Yes, that's right. And that has to be in person, or that's also transitioned to an online process?
As I said before, we have wonderful staff who are very knowledgeable and know all these things. Truthfully, I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if you can pay online or have to show up in person at the bank. Yeah. But I know in the instructions the information will be there.
Yeah.
And Wilbur, just your final advice to people, if they urgently need a visa for whatever reason, how do you go about getting it as an emergency service if your first point of contact is with the online form?
Yeah, that's a great question, and that's what we've been dealing with through the past months. So when you go onto the form, you'll fill out the application, you have to pay a fee, and then it'll send you to the website to set an appointment date for yourself, and you choose what day and what time you want to come. As I said before, for the tourist visas, that day is now out towards July, August. If you've got urgent travel, there's an emergency situation, there is a way in that form, there's a button to request an expedite appointment. Okay. And when you request an expedite appointment, it will ask you to give some details, and you can give us what the reason is. And we have staff that look at that and will make a decision whether to give you an expedited appointment or not. I would caution and say that pretty much everybody who travels feels like their travel is an emergency or is an expedite or is very, very important. And we know that everyone's travel is very important. Unfortunately, we're not able to approve every one of those expedite requests. And so we ask you to give us as much information as possible, and we do our best to get people in that have urgent expedited travel.
So it's not a valid reason for me to say my vacation is scheduled for next week and I want to travel?
It depends. If your vacation is scheduled to my area of upstate New York, you're probably going to get that, right? No, I shouldn't say that, because now everybody's going to say they're going to upstate New York. But that's right. Regular vacation travel probably is not an expedite. It's more for, urgent medical travel or a death in the family, something along those lines.
Good to know.
In terms of the U.S.'s policy for the entrance into the United States of America, is there any request for visitors to be vaccinated?
So, interestingly enough, I know Belize has said that people coming into Belize can show a vaccination certificate in lieu of taking a COVID test. In the U.S. right now, that is not the case. So entry requirements in the U.S., you have to have a recent negative COVID-19 test. And all of that information is on our website and on travel.state.gov.
Nice. And of course, the ultimate decision for entry into the United States takes place at your entry of the United States.
That is so true, and I love that you bring that up. Even just having a visa does not mean you get to enter the United States. It means you get to get on an airplane, present yourself at the port of entry, and they make the final decision right there whether you get to come in or not. Of course, most people having that visa, it's pretty standard to just go right into the U.S. after a short interview. But the final decision is made at the port of entry.
All right. Anything else you want to share with us? Tips, advice?
Just to reiterate, look at our website, reach out to us at consul.belize@state.gov. If you're an American citizen, ACS Belize at state.gov. And just kind of what I hit on before, Belize has done so well because all of us have been doing our part to keep the country safe. And so let's continue doing that. Let's continue to offer each other a little bit of grace and patience. And we're excited to be opening up our visa services on June 2nd.
Yeah.
And for the near future, we want to see that continue. And hopefully we can get through our backlog and get back to where we were before, where it was very easy for Belizeans to come in and apply for a visa. Thank you very much for having me, and excited and looking forward to seeing many visa applicants in the next few months.
All right. Well, thank you to Wilbur. Stay safe.
Thank you so much.
All right. There you have it.
There you have it.
Interviews resume June 2nd, but you can still apply online, and you can also apply for an interview waiver if you meet the eligibility criteria.
Right, and it's definitely a good feeling to hear that the services are being opened and they're trying to work on that backlog and try to get up to scale to where we want to return back to that sense of normalcy, especially for students who are planning to go abroad to study.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and take a break now. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about the latest promotions coming out from St. John's Credit Union. So please.